Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Boink Studios, and check us out on boinkstudios.com, where you can see all of our projects, past, present, and future. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy's show. Step off.
Hey, what is up? Welcome back to the program, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Clark, and this is Tom Clark's Main Event. We are back once again on Facebook Live. Glad you are with us. We're also recording today. The show will post on YouTube and is always available on boinkstudios.com. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, and iHeartRadio. This is episode number 108. And yes, we're moving right along here on Facebook Live. We want to thank everyone for joining us here, of course, and for coming back each and every week. Much thanks to Heidi Ryan and the whole crew at Wrestling Rumors for giving us this platform. We do greatly appreciate it. So, episode 107 was Batista, SmackDown 1000, and the Bullet Club. We talked about the Animals' return, the Blue Brand's big night, and the civil war between New Japan's top factions. Say all of that fast 3 times, and you got my vote. So how's everyone doing, man? Everyone good? Everyone's pouring in right now. I can't say thank you enough for showing up and hanging out with us. We've already had some folks show up. And someone said Stone Cold. Someone called me Stone Cold? That's funny. I usually get the Dean Ambrose comparisons. Although maybe now that's not a good thing. We'll get there. Relax. We got a lot to unpack on this episode. Okay? A lot to unpack. And how about we just goes ahead and gets to it as everyone pours in. I'm going to remind everyone right now, if you got friends, buddies, pals, comrades, compadres that are pro wrestling fans, take a sec and invite them to watch, man. I welcome conversation. I welcome debate. I like debating with smart fans. I got a lot of smart fans watching this show. And I don't use that term loosely. The word smart fans, I get a little sick of that. I mean smart in terms of you guys are like, polite. You just want to have intelligent debate and conversation. There's hardly ever any finger pointing or that kind of stuff. I can't debate people like that. It's impossible. Once you have your mind made up, forget it. It's not going to happen. Because it's like me debating a rock. That rock's not going to change. I can't move it. If it's heavy enough, I can't budge it. I can't change its mind. I can't make it not be a rock. Do you see what I'm saying? Anyway. All right, we're not going to waste any more time with the formalities. We're going to go ahead and jump right in here. This time, the main event, are you ready, is the Shield's destruction and evolution. Which kind of, if you take those two things together, it kind of sounds like I'm suggesting that evolution has been destructed already. Boy, I sure hope not. Let's talk educated fans. Gerald, well done. I like that. No one thinking Bobby Roode. Hey, I'll take Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode's a great hand. Even though he's saddled with a one-word catchphrase and a one-word gimmick, and that's really all he's got. He's got the robe and the glorious thing. And they gave him Chad Gable. Chad is a great little worker, man. Much better than anyone gives him credit for. But I'll take that comparison any day. Before we jump in, my apologies for the cough drop. I got a head thing happening right now. And I usually don't have candy or drinks or coffee during the show. Rarely. Coffee wreaks havoc with indigestion and stuff like that, even though I love it. I drink it all the time. But, but I have to have something. Otherwise, I'm going to cough all over you. And no one wants that, okay? Let's go ahead and talk about this. Roman Reigns. Shocker. Yes. If I could have went live that night after the promo, I would have. I just didn't have the opportunity. Things weren't clicking for me that night. I couldn't do it. But how are we feeling about it right now? I kept reading comments on social media during and after the promo and in the day since. And I keep seeing things like anyone that that didn't think that was, it's not praying for Roman. You got to be crazy. I haven't read anything that says, oh, Roman can still suck it. I mean, unless you guys have, I haven't seen anything like that, right? I mean, I haven't seen it. I think everyone's come together. Vanessa says, my profile picture is him hugging me. Vanessa, send me, you can't send me a friend request. You'll never find me. On the Wrestling Rumors inbox, let's go ahead and get this out of the way so we move on. Can we do that, folks? For anyone that's not friends with me, on the Facebook, send a message to Wrestling Rumors inbox on Instant Messenger and say, hey, Tom, it's me. What's up? And I'll send you a request. Sound good? Okay. David says, shocked and sad. Very sad. Yeah, it's new members of the Shield. They're not going to go there, Herbie. Herbie, I love the name. Herbie is in the robot for the Fantastic Four. No, I wouldn't. I think we just need to leave it alone. That's my opinion. I haven't heard anything to the contrary. Not that I will hear anything to the contrary, because no one heard about the Roman Reigns situation, right? I didn't hear a thing before that happened, folks. So, as connected as I am, I didn't get any sign. I was told that he was injured. That's what I was told. That he was injured, and that Daniel and John did not want to do Crown Jewel. Those are the three things I heard at once. I don't know, but I didn't hear anything about that. But no, Herbie is in Love Bug, nice. But no, so it's going to be a very hard time. I don't know to what level, to what extent we're talking about. I don't know if he's due. I assume chemotherapy. I don't know. This is an area that I'm probably not going to investigate. Can I be honest with you? I do a lot of breaking news pieces, and I do a lot of updates and things of that nature, where I end up reporting on arrests and death. In one day, I did like 3 death columns, and I feel like a guy writing the obituaries for the newspaper. I will do that when asked to, and do that when I need to, but I don't care to do it. Can I be honest? As someone who's always called himself a WWE analyst, which I do believe I am, pro wrestling analyst, which I still do believe I am, I've also become something of a reporter, I suppose. And so I don't always have to like what I'm reporting, but it's my job. I got to do it. But in terms of nosing in on Roman's personal life and what he's doing and what hospital and all that, dude, I'm not going to do all that. If it breaks online, feel free to go read it, but I can't go there. You got to believe he and his family are going to be going through a rough time in the next little bit. They're going to need all the support and prayers you could possibly give, if you're believing that sort of thing. I don't know why he would ever say no to it. Let's put it that way. So let's see what's going on. Someone just said should both be fired. Who are we talking about? Severin Valerie? Yes? Thank you. Appreciate that. Jason just brought up an interesting point. And we don't have to get off on Crown Jewel right now. We can talk about it later if you guys want to. But Roman did surrender the Universal Championship on Raw. Okay, which means now it's a 2-man deal at Crown Jewel. Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar. And Jason just mentioned, Brock's gonna like get the title back. Don't be surprised if he does. Turning Braun babyface again is so the right move here. With Roman being out of the picture, you need another top babyface. It may as well be him. He was one of those guys before. He can be that guy again. He doesn't have to apologize to the fans. He doesn't have to say, remember when I turned on all of you? My bad. He doesn't have to do any of that stuff. Because he really, I don't know if he talked down to the fans in terms of all of you people can suck it. I don't know if he did that. But I don't know that he said anything so heinous that he couldn't... that he can't come back from it. He can come back from that. And he has. And it was the right move to make. Let's see. WWE will lose viewers if Brock gets it. Mike could be right. There was a time when I would have told Mike, no chance. But the ratings for Raw have not been the best. The ratings for not this past SmackDown, but the SmackDown last week were not good at all. You also have to, take into account everything that's happening online. That may compete. Things are happening on TV that may compete. There's other forms of entertainment out there. you would think that the hardcore wrestling fans always tune in, and we do. I do. That company, can I be honest with you, it's going to have to do a heck of a lot to make me turn the channel and never watch again. That's just me. In a 3-hour program full of hooey, you know what I mean? I can still find something worth watching, but that's me. So, let's see. The Did You Know stuff doesn't come up much anymore. Good point. I have not noticed that, but good point. They used to advertise that stuff all the time. Same think that Lesnar would be laid out by unexpected wrestler. Who could get one over on Lesnar? That's the question. Here's something I'll throw to you. In that same vein, who could pop up from NXT? I could say who's ready. A lot of them are ready and have been ready for a long time. But who would be big enough, bad enough to come in from NXT? If the AOP were in a different scenario, they're kind of like two great big 20-something Brock Lesnar's right there. You know what I mean? Probably not going to happen, but just throwing it out there. Give Tyler Strowman time to pull the trigger on the guy at the right time will be a positive on a negative event. I can't agree with you more. I think Braun will be your next Universal Champion. Johnny Wrestling. Gargano turning heel. And Tommaso Ciampa signing off on him. Ciampa. It's Ciampa. It's Ciampa. I am bound and determined to pronounce this guy's name correctly. It's Tommaso Ciampa. That's it. If you say any other way, it's wrong. He'll tell you that too. Tommaso Ciampa. Let's see. Track record of NXT upcomers. Craig's got a good point. I can't argue. I'm sorry. I'm sitting here thinking and wondering why it is what it is when the NXT guys come up. And there have been a few exceptions, but for the most part, Craig's right, man. It's been, I can't say a train wreck, but tough. DIY back together as heels. Maybe. What about Hogan at Crown Jewel? I think Jason is the one who keeps talking about Hogan. I don't care to see Hogan back. Sorry. I have this, I think it's Dave and I that have this colorful conversation about Hogan. It's me and somebody. I just don't care to see him back. Do I think Finn Balor would get a push or maybe give Cena the belt? Finn Balor, in my opinion, is maybe the biggest untapped resource on either brand. On any of the three brands. And people use the word bury a lot. By the way, again, I'm in the South. My mom says bury. Like library. She does constantly. I was like, Mom, what are you doing? And instead of body, it's batty. She says batty like she's from up north. Isn't that funny? Batty. I don't have any idea. Where'd that come from? Where was I? So, excuse me. Someone remind me where I just was. I was talking about family and it just screwed me all up. My apologies. But yeah, given, I don't, Finn, for whatever reason, and again, the whole Barry concept, the guy's on TV, they're selling his merch, he's selling merch, they keep talking about him, they reference him when he's not on the screen, they put him over in commentary when he is on the screen, whether he wins or loses, he's still put over, they think highly of him. Am I wrong about any of those things? I don't think Finn has been buried. I think that for whatever reason, there's a lot of spots on the card and they look at it and say, all right, here's where Finn goes. Yeah, everyone, we plug Finn in here and we're just going to leave him here. Okay, all right, are we good? All right, break. See you out there. And that's kind of what they do. I don't agree with that. Finn is capable of, excuse me, folks, my apologies. Finn is capable of so much more than what he's been given to do. Is he going to do it? Hey, I hope so. NWO versus DX. Man, people can't leave NWO stuff alone. Leave it alone. It's not coming back. If NWO came back, it wouldn't be the Trinity. It wouldn't be the trio. It could, but they can't work. It's over. Nash is in the best shape of all three of them. And Nash could probably stand still and work a match, which a lot of people would suggest that's what he did in his entire career. I didn't say that. But NWO headed for a 2019 Hall of Fame induction. Sure, I'll take that. I got no problem with that at all. Yeah, right? So Sean Waltman will be in twice. Hogan will be in twice. Is Nash in? How do I not know this? I don't think Nash is in. Right? Someone look that up. Yep, the old needs to go. It's time for the new guys and girls. I can't disagree with that either. Jim says Undisputed Era greater than NWO. Hard to argue that at this point in the game as well. I like the Undisputed Era. I think they're too small. Sorry, they're small. I just... And listen, this is an opinion that probably no one's going to share if you love independent wrestling. But Undisputed Era are undisputedly too freaking small. All three of them. And what are they going to do about it? All four of them. What are they going to do about it? Nothing. What can they do? Weight gain 5,000? Eat a gallon of powder? Is that what they're going to do? No. Don't be weird. It's not going to happen. They can't get any bigger. It is what it is. I don't hate on them for it. I'm just trying to make a point. If you put them on the main roster next to the biggest guys on the card, you're going to be shocked. I don't know. That's just me. I'm not hung up on it, and I don't mean any disrespect to those guys at all. That's just an observation on my point. As my voice cracks and I attempt to struggle and power through this. Do I think Storm is going to win the Classic? Yes. Yes, I think that she will. I think it's being set up that way. So, rewind for a tick. So Roman is out. We here at the show, along with, I'm sure, every website that I contribute to, wishes Roman and his family, sends him nothing but the best. Good vibes all the way around. Whether you like the guy or not, doesn't make a difference. Shouldn't make a difference to any of you. Imagine if you were going through this and you had people going, I never liked that guy. Can I be honest with you? People might do that to me if I ever get sick. That's scary. Makes me want to change who I am. But not really. Sometimes I like to make it creepy. Sorry. Let's see. Thoughts on stories rivalries being short or just not long enough to, in my opinion, it's due to the Fox deal and working angles and gimmicks for network TV. Bear Davis. That's a pro wrestling name if I ever heard one. And in this corner, at 325 pounds, from Oklahoma. I don't know where you're from. Bear Davis. The second. That's even better. Tanisha, welcome to the show. Have you ever watched the show before, Tanisha? If you have, my apologies for not recognizing your name. Yes, folks, send Roman your well wishes. He needs it in this time. Now, let's switch gears. So I posted a column this week on Wrestling Rumors talking about the Lunatic Fringe. You know where I'm going to go with this, right? So Roman cuts his promo. Follow me here. Roman cuts his promo. He comes back. The WWE comes back from break. Cole, Graves, Young are all in tears. Then they replay the promo for the entire 3 hours. And can I be honest with you? This is going to sound terrible. I was fine with it. I was kind of afraid the crowd was going to start turning on it. Because it's Roman. Now, that was me not giving them enough credit. But let's be honest, the crowd kind of doesn't deserve a lot of credit sometimes because they just continue to back on this guy for his music playing. What? He hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything to you. But boo, he sucks. He sucks. Oh my God. He's not even out there yet. See? So I kind of thought, man, they're going to lose the crowd. But they didn't. Almost every time they replayed the promo, fans were chanting Roman's name. Good for them. Good. I'm glad to see it. And then they kept doing this for the 3 hours. And I'm like, man, that's a lot. Like an occasional mention, sure. Folks, let's show what happened at the top of the program. And then it's like, Dean and Seth win the belts. It was supposed to be the Brotherhood's night, right? Going out there, doing the thing, winning it for Roman, winning it for our brother. Dean turns on Seth. And suddenly, light bulb. Okay? And I said, that's why they replayed the promo for 3 straight hours. Get it? Perfect. WWE screws a lot of stuff up. I think we can all agree on that, yes? A lot of stuff up. They absolutely nailed this. This was the most brilliant piece of booking I've seen in years, and I'm not exaggerating. They prepped the audience. They prepped you watching at home. They prepped the audience in attendance, all around the world watching. However they were watching, you got prepped. for the turn. Okay? And you knew what the main event meant. You knew what it meant to you. You knew what it meant to everyone involved. Okay? You knew that this was a very big deal. And that it had to, it was going to pull on your heartstrings when they won. You knew they were going to. And they did, right? But as you're primed and ready and emotional and set up for this victory and can't wait, and yes, let's do this for Roman, by God, do it. Dean makes the turn. Brilliant piece of booking. My hat's off to WWE. They absolutely nailed it. Couldn't have been done more expertly. So, let's see. He's saying that they fixed it for Dean to turn, not Roman really being sick. Oh, no. Listen. Is everyone like getting off on the wrong thing here? Dave says turning Dean Monday was a terrible time. I'm sorry, Dave. I appreciate your opinion. I respect it. I disagree. I think it was absolute perfect time. And if I would dare say, if you knew Roman and you could talk to Roman 101 and say, what'd you think about all that? Roman's going to say, do it. It's good storytelling. Move on. They got to keep moving. You understand? It has to keep going. No matter how much you don't like it, when a wrestler passes away, okay, and I know Roman's not, obviously, but the show must go on, folks. They got to keep going. In one night, they got a new top heel, a new top babyface, and an open championship that could go to one of two different people at a huge event in one night. Do they want any of that to happen? Probably not in that order. Probably not in one night. They wanted Roman to be healthy, obviously. But listen, when things come up, you have to go to the drawing board. You have to come up with something. Turning Dean on Monday Night Raw was the best move, in my opinion. And look, you're Roman Reigns. Hang on a tick before everyone starts beating me up here. I had no idea everyone was going to be of a different opinion on this. I thought it was a great move. I'm not saying you got to agree with me. I'm saying I'm a little surprised that no one sees this besides me. And if I'm the only one that sees it, maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? You're Roman. Dean's your boy. He's your boy. Travel the roads together with this guy for, what? How long has it been now? 5-6 years? Okay? He's your boy. Do you know what this did for Dean's career in one night? I mean, think about that, folks. Look what it did for Dean Ambrose. Would Roman Reigns have gotten in the way of that? Do you not think Dean would have been okay if the tables had been turned? If this would have been done to benefit Roman? He absolutely would have been okay with this. The company's got to move on. The fact that you're bothered by it, the fact that you feel it, means that it worked. You feel this. What the company's going to hope is that you direct that anger at Dean every time he comes out. That you're like, there he is. God, I hate this. And then by virtue of that, you'll hate him. I'm not saying you will. I'm not saying you won't turn on WWE and never watch again, as some people like to say. But are you really going to stop watching because of what happened with Dean? See, so Dean's career is more important than Roman's life. No, who said it was more? Dave is always upset. Dave, you are always upset, brother. Dave brings the heat every time. And I welcome the heat. Bring the heat. That's fine. No one said. See, this is the part I have an issue with. All the time. Is I never said any of those words. I'll rewind, and it's perfectly fine. I'll say it again. I'll say it all day long. I don't care. This was the best move for everyone involved because the company's got to keep going. The company's got to keep going. So, all right, so Dean doesn't turn heel. The show ends with Dean and Seth with their arms raised. It's a feel-good moment. Awesome. But you know what's going to happen after that? At the first sign of trouble, people are going to be wondering, hey, I wonder if Dean's going to turn. Nah, he's probably not going to turn. I don't know. Why not just do it that night? Make this happen. In one night, you set wheels in motion for a whole new program, for a whole new set of events. And by the way, no one said that this was more important than Roman's life. Who said Roman's not going to come out of this? I fully expect Roman Reigns to be back, as healthy as he is now, healthier and better than ever. I fully expect it. I think anyone that counts this guy out is thinking the wrong thing. Of course he's going to be back. Now see, Dave, I'm not saying that you suggested that he's not going to come back. I'm not going to put words in your mouth. I'm just telling you from my perspective, He's going to be back better than ever. That's what I feel. And then when he comes back, imagine if Dean is still heel, the chaos that's going to ensue after that. There's another storyline waiting to happen. You got to get ready for the future. You got to pad it. You got to prepare. You got to plan ahead. Everyone gets upset and says things like, WWE doesn't prepare. They fly by the seat of their pants. WWE feels like they're never ready. They're just booking this as they go. And the one time you feel as though they're putting wheels in motion to set things out for the future, we get mad. So, can we sum it up? Is that okay? We can keep talking about it if you want to. It's fine with me. I think they make the best move possible with Dean, in my humble opinion. I think you have to keep going. And I read the comment just now. Someone said, "That's pro wrestling." It is pro wrestling. It's kooky. It's weird. It's like the Addams Family of TV. So, let's see. Yeah, Wayne Wright be the same. Yeah, listen, they're going to come back together. They'll come back together. Yes, Craig, thank you. The storyline wouldn't have been confirmed without the permission of Roman Reigns. Thank you, Craig. Craig speaks the truth, folks. Have any of you folks around when Eddie Guerrero passed away? And Randy Orton cut the promos he cut and bagged on Rey Mysterio and put down Eddie and talked about Eddie being in the grave. Were you guys around and saw that? You really think that Vicky Guerrero wouldn't have been okay with that? Think about that. That Vicky Guerrero wouldn't have been okay with that. Don't you think they talked to her first? You got to use your common sense here, folks. One door closes, another one opens, and it has to. Let's see. One last word. Robert has it. It was a great heel turn. Perfect timing. Great job. I still hate it when the Shield turns on each other, though. I still love all three of them. Dean's my favorite. Someone just said Eddie isn't in heaven. Craig, shame on you. Shame Craig, everyone, for saying Eddie's not in heaven. What kind of childish comment is that to make? All due respect, Craig. That's a childish comment to make, that Eddie's not in heaven. I assume that you're mimicking what Orton said. I'm just giving you grief. Relax, brother. Heyman fakes a heart attack. Oh, man. Stuff's blowing up today, and I can't talk. I'm choking. So, okay. So, let's see. Mark just said this goes down as much as Undertaker losing. Oh, my God. Thank you. When this happened, I looked at that crowd. I said, it was just like the night when Taker lost to Brock, WrestleMania 30. Same thing. See the crowd? The one dude doing this. The lady going like that. How about reuniting Bullet Club at WWE? Herbie, I think they've had all kinds of opportunities to do that so far, and they have yet to do it. I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm just saying they'd have to do something to prove to me they're going to. Tanisha is asking about Sanity. Everybody thinks that Sandy should be paired up and that, oh my goodness, her name escapes me at the moment. My apologies on that. That she should come up from NXT. Someone throw her name to me. Thank you, Barbara. I think it is. I feel perfectly fine. Can I be honest with you? I feel perfectly fine. I don't look great. Nikki Cross, thank you, Robert. I always forget Nikki's name. Isn't that funny? I don't forget anyone else. I'm sitting here grieving over how to pronounce Tommaso Ciampa. But I can't remember. Nikki Cross was like the easiest name ever. And by the way, a very cool name as well. Everybody talking about Sanity reuniting with Nikki Cross. Give Nikki enough time. You know, we just talked about NXT people not getting what they need on the main roster. Give Nikki enough time. She'll be there. New Day. I'm a fan of the New Day. Anyone's not a fan of the New Day, I got a question. Where your head's at? I'm just saying. New Day's as entertaining today as they ever have been. That's my opinion. What do I think of the Gargano Black storyline? I think that it was highly predictable. I'm not saying that it wasn't good, but I think it was predictable. I think a lot of people saw Gargano turning. However, I don't know what else they could have done to make the storyline make sense. I'm fine with it. I love how Ciampa all of a sudden is okay with it. Where it's like, you know, I hate this guy. Oh, wait. He cheats now like I do. I love this guy. That's kind of the same thing. So, why isn't WWE promoting Evolution as much as it should? You guys want to go ahead and get an Evolution? I don't know if we're going to be talking for an hour and a half today, folks. I'm dying over here. let's get into Evolution. It was the second part of our topic here. Let's talk about it. I just finished a column that we'll post today, shortly after the program wraps up here on Evolution. WWE has left Evolution in the dust, in the shadows, not promoting it as they should, as someone just suggested, as people have been suggesting to me for a month or better. Crown Jewels completely took over the entire narrative of WWE in every way, shape, and form. Like, the women of Evolution have not had the opportunity to get this thing over, to get themselves over. It's been, I can't call it a train wreck because the thing hasn't happened yet. And I want, you hear my cat, he's outside the door. He wants in. He can't get in. You know what happens when my cat gets in here? He gets in my lap. He's a lap cat. Kind of like Dr. Evil. You know what I mean? So, Dean Ambrose, what's going on? Corey, are you referring to me as Dean Ambrose, or are you asking about the Dean Ambrose situation? I want Evolution to be a success. I want it to be great. I want every match on the card to be a 5-star match. No pun intended. I want it to work and then some. I want to walk away and come away from watching Evolution and say, that was worth it. That was worth my time. Such a good show. That's what I want to say. And if you give the women any opportunity, Craig says it was evil genius. Thank you, Craig. Clap, 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 clap. So, David says his cat wants in his room too. Can you hear the thing purring over here? Or meowing? The women's revolution is a farce. It always has been. Vince doesn't want the women to outshine the guys, so he isn't promoting it. Imagine if the women sold out Evolution at a time Raw and SmackDown are selling out. Dave, once again, I'm going to disagree with you, brother. Vince McMahon is a pro wrestling promoter and more importantly a businessman. Vince McMahon wants to make money. Selling out an event means Vince makes more money. Of course he wants Evolution to sell out. And honestly, it's not just Vince anymore. It's still Vince's company. And yes, he has the last word on the Hall of Fame and 1,000 other things that go on from day to day to day to day to day. That's all true. But at the same time, there's other people now. There's Triple H there. Do you think that all these veterans coming in from the independent circuit would still be allowed? Adam Cole is still Adam Cole. Roderick Strong is still Roderick Strong. Do you see what I'm saying? Samoa Joe is still a Samoa Joe. If this were 20 years ago and all this were happening, do you really think that these guys would still be who they are? I mean, think about that. Triple H is there now. He's also behind the scenes. And I'm not saying that he's like a parrot on Vince's shoulder saying, boss, you better not do this. I'm not saying that. I'm not even suggesting it. What I am saying, though, is that if Vince is asking for an opinion, Hunter's going to give him his opinion. And they're going to go from there. You see what I'm saying? And it's not just him and Hunter backstage. It's other people as well. I mean, they've got experienced road agents working behind the scenes. All they got to do is say, what do you think? It doesn't mean they got to listen. Doesn't mean they got to take it to heart. But you're crazy to not ask the veterans backstage what they think. You see what I'm saying? There's got to be a conversation had. They want Evolution to sell out. They want this thing to be a success. And this whole idea that Vince doesn't, and it's not just you I've heard this from, that Vince doesn't want the women to outsell. If the women do outsell the men, if the women do make a ton of money, you hear this? If the women do blow up and have great matches, and the shows make money, and the events get the pay-per-view buy rates up, the network gets more subscribers, more downloads, more merch is sold, X, Y, and Z, more money in Vince's pocket. There's nothing wrong with that. And he'll tell you that too. That's a win for everyone. Plus, you have to appeal to a much wider audience now. Raw is not just being watched by, excuse me, but horny 18-year-old guys who want to see half-naked women. It was, I'm sure. It's not now. Okay, there's a wide variety of audience that watches Raw. I would dare say, and this is a guess, more women watch Raw and SmackDown than ever before. You think that doesn't have something to do with the women's revolution? Just a little bit? I mean, it's a good thing for the women to succeed. It's an even better thing for the women to succeed to the point where you're like, my God, I didn't think it was going to be that good. I didn't think it was going to be that entertaining. I want the women to succeed in WWE. I need them to succeed in WWE. I don't look at any of these women as being sex objects or anything like that. I just don't. Yeah, but the women have always been downplaying. Do you think Victoria's going to Evolution? I like to see Victoria there. They need to bring everybody back. They claimed, Herbie, in the very beginning, they said that everybody's going to be back. Past, present, and future, right? People you never expected. All these people back. And they should mention China. Absolutely. They should put a graphic up on the Titantron and show a little video package of her. Absolutely. Why not? They should mention everyone. Sable supposedly, from what I've read, I've not covered it, Sable supposedly turned down an offer to be there. Mark said, not China. I'm sorry, I disagree with that. I know what she did. I know what she did for a living before her death. But at the same time, how are you going to have the first all-women's event and not mention her at all? Just like they're going to mention Fabulous Moolah. They are. They are. I would be shocked if there wasn't some kind of gigantic countdown video that they run at the beginning of the program from the black and white days to right now, showing women's wrestling back in the day. Mildred Burke all the way up to now. For real. You'd be crazy not to. It's part of the history. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean it has to be part of the history that you like or necessarily agree with, but it's part of the history, and they know that. And they're going to, I think they'll honor that. They should. See, we're not going to see a Rhea Ripley defend her NXT UK women's title from what it looks like. Well, Jason, there's time. I noticed that. They could always add it to the card. And I think they should. They said that all championships are going to be defended, right? Hopefully I can breathe right now. I'm so sorry, folks. Part of me in my head wants to scrap this entire episode. Next week we'll just call this one number 108, but I'm not going to do that. I want to keep rolling. Like we said before, if it's live, it's not an accident, right? I'm just saying. So, the card could and should be way better than what it is. I agree, Jim. Miss Elizabeth will definitely be mentioned, Corey. Outstanding. Yes, for sure. Tanisha, talking about women tag team championships with 3 question marks. People are all about those women's tag team championships. For belts that don't exist right now, people are all about it. Yes, I am perfectly for it. If you watch the UK show, she doesn't have a title yet. Good point, Jason. Excellent point. Well done, actually. Yeah, for real. Let's see. Miss Elizabeth and China should be in the Hall of Fame. Elizabeth will get in. I don't think China will. I'm not saying I agree with that. I don't think she will. That's another debate for another day. I'd be perfectly happy getting proven wrong. Isn't Sensational Sherry in the Hall of Fame, Danny? Am I crazy? Anybody? I thought Sherry was in. Dave says they don't have enough depth for women tag belts. Only way they can do it is if they combine the right. Well, Dave, to your point, how about one set of women tag team champions that run between both brands? Just a thought. You don't necessarily have to have 2 sets of female tag team champions. Why not just have the one? Just a thought. But you're right. What it would be, it wouldn't even really be tag teams. It would be, and if you're a fan of tag team wrestling, and you're a fan of traditional sense of tag team wrestling, why would you want women's tag team championships when there's no female tag teams out there? The Riot Squad, Absolution are they still a thing? I mean, I guess so, right? But, good point. I mean, I don't know. When I really think about it, I don't know if it's such a great idea. I'm not against it, though. Should WWE have a champion of champions that can be defended on both brands, like the old school NWA, like old school WWE used to be? I say leave it alone. They've done a lot of work. I was going to say they've done a lot of work with the Universal Championship. They haven't really. They put it on one dude for 500 days or whatever it was. He was never there. That's not exactly a lot of work, right? But, you've already established the thing. It's there. You might as well use it. I say just keep the 2 champs for the time being. Let's see. Iconics. They're going to be in the Battle Royal, right? Okay. Stephanie thinks China should be in the Hall of Fame. All right. Hey, Betty. What's up, Betty? No one's disagreeing with you, I'm sure. But you know who cares what Stephanie thinks? Everybody in the company cares what Stephanie thinks. She is the boss's daughter. And more importantly, she's also in charge. Everyone cares what she thinks. Let's see. If they don't have enough, why not bring up some of the new generation that are training? Talking about the women. Maybe they're not ready. They might be ready to wrestle. They might be ready for that piece of it. But it's a whole different animal on the main roster. You guys know that. We just talked earlier about the NXT folks coming up and not getting the love that they should. That's a very real thing, Let's see. They saw when Raw and SmackDown moved to Fox, they're getting rid of the split brand. Okay, interesting point. I don't know. Maybe the brand split should end next year because they want the company to have as much visibility as possible on SmackDown. Can't really do that if the Raw superstars aren't there as well. Interesting point. I'm actually okay with that. Here's my thing. I just want them to make a decision and stick with it. I get so tired as a writer having to cover it incessantly and having, remember 3 years ago when they did this? Well, they're changing it. And as a fan trying to follow it, enough already. Just, come on. Pick a direction, go in it, and stay there. Now, sometimes they have to change course. The Dean and Roman situation, you got to change course. One door closes, another one opens, all that stuff. But if we're talking about, all right, this is what we're going to do, and that's it. You guys get used to it. Here's 2 sets of everything. Go with God. Enjoy the show. And then 2 or 3 years later, they come back and say, we was just kidding. It's all over. We're going to go back to 1 show now. Yay. Come on, man. See, what are your thoughts of James Storm coming back and reforming with Bobby? I love the idea, but I don't think James was too happy. And someone can refresh my memory because I wrote about this when it happened. James Storm came in and worked that match in NXT, and supposedly the offer that WWE made him, that he felt he was lowballed. He didn't say anything out of hand. He wasn't disrespectful. He thanked WWE for the opportunity on his social media, and he went back to the independent circuit. I think WWE would have to come up with something good. I wonder what you would call them. You wouldn't call them beer money, would you? Now, WWE has been having conversations with Impact Wrestling, but would Vince really want to call them, or Triple H, would you really want to call them the tag team name they had for another company? I don't know. They've done it before with the Dudley Boys, right? I guess it's possible. Let's see. Why do I think Dean did what he did during the tag team match? Oh, we've been all through that, Jeremy. I think it was the right thing for the company. I think it was the right thing for everybody involved. The brand split doesn't work with Raw and SmackDown because they're TV shows. NXT is a different brand, and Wood does feel like a different brand. Yeah. I mean, NXT is a TV show as well, to be fair. But no, I get your point. What about Ricochet? Is he going to get called up? Let's talk about Ricochet. Ricochet is talented, athletic, good worker. Can do things that... It's a shame that AJ Styles has the phenomenal nickname because Ricochet's pretty phenomenal. However, I have said this long before he ever got to WWE. I will stick to this till the day the guy retires, which hopefully is not for a long time. Don't misunderstand me. Ricochet's style is going to get him hurt, in my opinion. I'm not saying it's careless, because I don't know if has Ricochet ever hurt anyone in the ring. Hurt himself, probably. But here's the thing: I'm a pro wrestling fan, and I want to see these guys and gals, wrestle as long as they possibly can, and retire healthy when the time comes. But when you throw caution to the wind and throw your body at everything to see if it sticks, like the little sticky octopus on the wall, remember? Bloop, bloop, bloop. I think you are inviting trouble, and I think Ricochet's style is going to do some incredible damage to him, if the long-term damage. Now, put that on the main roster, and suddenly he becomes Evel Knievel. He's a stunt show Daredevil act. I'm not dissing the guy, saying he can't work. I'm just telling you what I think. You asked, I'm telling you what I think. I think he becomes a Daredevil sideshow act. I think that's great for short bursts of entertainment. But if you want to see Ricochet on the main roster because you believe he can be a champion and be a top guy, maybe you don't want to see him go. At least not right now. Ricochet needs a meaty storyline. He needs someone to challenge him that will ground him. And let's see what Ricochet can do for a 10-minute match without leaving his feet for 10 straight minutes. Now, you're looking at me saying, Ricochet can work. He can. Let's see him work grounded. And let's see him keep your attention and keep your support and keep you invested for the entire duration of the match. He needs some of that. In my humble opinion, he needs to be grounded occasionally. Now, what makes Ricochet Ricochet is the stuff he does. I get it. But he's defined by the stunts. He is defined by that stuff. And if that's what you're into, fine. But again, don't you want to work till you're in your 40s maybe? How are you going to do that if you're you see what I mean? I remember Randy Orton, odd comparison, but bear with me. I remember Randy Orton talking about in an interview that, when he first came in, he was doing that elbow drop off the top rope. I think it was an elbow drop or a forearm off the top. And Hunter or someone to him made the comment, you might want to think about taking that out. It's like, why? It's like, dude, you're going to start feeling that eventually. And he's like, you know what? They were right. I took it out because I started feeling, you know what I mean? It's part of the reason why Randy's still going, because he wrestles smart. And this is not an indictment on today's style. I know what today's style is. I watch New Japan. I got it on my TV right now. But I'm not dissing any one of them at all. But at the same time, I could say the same thing about guys like Seth, Finn, even AJ. Sure. In my opinion, though, Dave, to your point, I think AJ works the safest of everyone you just mentioned. My opinion. And again, I'm not suggesting that these guys are hurting anyone else. Seth's got a track record, but Sting doesn't hold him responsible. Finn doesn't blame him. So maybe neither should we as well for what happened. But at the same time, and I could talk all day about this stuff. You know that, right? When it comes to Ricochet, I just want to see him succeed. And I don't know if being Evel Knievel in 2018 is the way to do it in that company. That's just me talking. Which match are you most excited to watch at Crown Jewel? Naman? I don't know if I am, my friend. What am I most excited to watch? Oy vey. I don't know if I am. No disrespect. The Cena match. How many guys are in that match? Like 8? 7 or 8? I think. Yeah. But now the word is that John is not going and that neither is Daniel. And we may not know the truth until the day of Crown Jewel, which is a week from today, actually, November 2nd. We'll see. But I would say that match. If you're going to listen to anyone in that company, if you're Vince McMahon behind the scenes, it's going to be Daniel Bryan and John Cena. You should be listening to everybody. They're your employees, for God's sake. Right? But supposedly John and Dean are not going to go. Or excuse me, John and Daniel. I do that all the time with Dean and Daniel, actually. I'm very excited to see some old schoolers going back to WWE Evolution, but I believe the ladies should be, and I missed your comment. I'm supposing you said should be allowed to do their thing with the new ones. Hogan at Crown Jewel, brother. You guys are killing me with this Hogan stuff. By the time it takes Hogan to throw a punch, I could go to the bathroom, make a sandwich, and come back. That's how long. The drawback, when he hits his hand, brother. I could about go take a nap. Heck, Hogan probably takes a nap as he's winding back. That's fun. I'm only doing that because there's so many Hogan fans on here that's going to go, you son of a... It's all right. I'm playing. Relax. Listen, I've made this comment before. I wasn't born and raised on WWE like maybe a lot of you folks were. And if you were, go with God. That's fine. I was raised on Jim Crockett Promotions. I wasn't raised on Showtime. I wasn't raised on Circus. I wasn't raised on P.T. Barnum with the top hat and, on the floor in the three-ring circus. I wasn't raised on that. I was raised in the smoke-filled, dimly lit auditoriums with 2 bare-chested brawlers going, freaking blow by blow and fist for fist and, crushing it, killing it, telling a story in the ring. Didn't need a promo. Telling a story in the ring. Fighting tooth and nail to get the point across. Ric Flair was the world champion. Period. Hogan was the WWF champion. That's it. Ric Flair was the world champion. Hogan was the WWF champion. It's different. Just saying. Let's see. Who should replace Corbin as Raw GM? I'm sick of the corporate authority figures on TV. WWE is convinced. I can't say that with enough passion. Convinced. This is how you run a pro wrestling show. It's not. A lot of other pro wrestling companies out there run a lot of pro wrestling shows that don't need to do that. You don't need to do it either. You got enough smart people behind the scenes to write enough good material, hopefully, to keep the show running without 10-minute promos from the heel corporate authority figure. I'm not a fan of it. If Mega goes to WWE, Vince will, here's the word Barry again, be a mid to low carder like Shinsuke and Finn. Cameron, if Omega believes that, he will not go. Excuse me for that. Kenny Omega can write his own check like Cody and the Bucks can right now. For real. They can write their own check. They're handed a blank check at this point, honestly. For him to give that up, there better be some amazing plans in the works, folks. There better be something awesome in store. And if there's not, guess what? He's probably not going to go. So if I were him, I wouldn't go either. I mean, if you can make just as successful of a living on the independent circuit doing what you do and making money and earning a comfortable living, why in the world wouldn't you just stay where you are? Now, for anyone that says, WWE's not the only game in town anymore, Tom. Maybe it's not everyone's dream to work in WWE, Tom. I would say maybe you're fooling yourself. Even for those that say it's not their dream to work in WWE someday, if you are a pro wrestler in the pro wrestling business, in this day or any day before this, you at some point want to go to the company up north and work for Vince McMahon. It doesn't mean you want to go up there and work for 20 years. It doesn't mean you go up there and go to the Hall of Fame someday. If those things happen, great. But I would think that a competitor like Kenny Omega at some point is going to look around and say, okay, what now? WWE is what now? You see what I'm saying? I agree with you that I don't want to see it happen to him. But I also disagree that I think it will happen to him to begin with. To me, if you choose to leave WWE and go somewhere else, it just means you couldn't cut the mustard. Jason, you are entitled to your opinion, my friend. However, I disagree respectfully. Because I say this to you. Does that mean Cody couldn't cut it? Does that mean Cody's not good enough? Or a plethora of other guys not good enough? I submit that they are. Booking has a lot to do with it, folks. Booking has everything to do with it. Not just in whether or not you succeed, but in the opportunities that you get. Now, you got to make the most of your opportunities when you get them. When you're given the mic, when you're on TV, when you have opportunity to shine, you need to take it. At the same time, if you don't get the opportunity, how are you going to take it? So I disagree with that sentiment. That's just me talking. Jim says, if you're any top pro wrestler, you want at least one WWE paycheck. Yes, Jim. If not for all the zeros on it, but for the fact that you can say, I crossed this off my list. I agree with Jim 100%. Barry Davis II is back out of Oklahoma at 325 pounds. I love that, Bear. I'm going to roll with that. That's who you are now. Cody and the Bucks would shake up the wrestling world by entering in WWE, would enjoy it with a great storyline. Bear makes a great point. The key here is the storyline. It's the booking, folks, as is with everything in this company. The booking has to be on par. It has to be strong. I submit that I don't think the company needs them right now. We talked about Vince McMahon a lot on this show. We talked about him earlier, about him calling the shots. And Vince would, does want to put the women over the men and stuff, all those wacky theories. Here's a wacky theory for you. Vince McMahon would sign these guys only to keep them out of Ring of Honor in New Japan. Right? And if he did, then he shouldn't sign them to begin with. You have to have room and you have to have opportunity. And you have to have a plan. Room, opportunity, and a plan. Hopefully, a plan, room, and opportunity. And if you don't have those three, don't sign them. If you're signing to get them away from the competition, who, by the way, you don't believe is competition if you're Vince McMahon, right? That's why you signed them. Shame on you. They are going to flounder like a fish on the beach, man. Going to flounder. You understand? So you shouldn't do it. I don't want to see them go if nothing good's going to come of it. No point in it. Let's see. About the talks of Fox wanted to end the brand split before bringing. I think we just talked about that, Craig. We got a couple of Craigs on here. Two or three of you Craigs. It's the fellowship of the Craigs. It's funny. Tom, is a World Cup a battle royal or a series of matches? What's up, Orlando? I don't know, man. I thought it was a series of matches, but maybe it's an elimination match? Hey, you're asking. We can look. I mean, I'm right here. I'm right here. We may as well just look. And by the way, the crown jewel thing has changed several times on the website in terms of how it's worded, how it's talked about, how it's discussed. They're downplaying the Saudi Arabia part of it. Let's see. It's calling the tournament 8-man World Cup tournament. So evidently it's a series of matches. Yeah, it's a one-night tournament. Craig just made the list. Yes, Dave's correct. It is a series of matches. I never understood why they said the World Cup is just glorified King of the Ring. I never cared for King of the Ring. Believe it or not, never cared for that. King Booker. It was fun. It was fun for 10 minutes. And then I was like, wow, I really hate this now. Personal preference. I don't care. Either way, I just like, Who do you think will be the next top star for WWE? Roman Reigns is the top star of WWE. That's not going to change. Reigns will be back. But not Naman, yes? Roman Reigns is the top star. There's other opportunities, but I mean, in terms of cosmetically, I know that's a terrible word because you shouldn't judge people by their looks and all that stuff, but we're talking about a pro wrestling company that puts guys' faces on the side of a trailer. A huge tractor trailer, okay? I mean, cosmetically and how they talk and how they present themselves and what kind of background they have and family life and all this other stuff. Roman Reigns is as good a candidate as any. Who else? I like Seth. But Seth's naked from the waist down online. I didn't go looking for it, but I was around the day the story broke. I'm not saying he's not entitled to his life. I'm just... Paige is not the face of WWE for a reason. No disrespect. That opens up a whole other can of worms. How much dirt does John Cena have? There's rumors of John Cena. He's a jerk backstage. He holds guys down. He politics. He's this, he's that. Prove it. Prove it beyond hearsay. Show me something John ever did. Where's the smoking gun? There's not one. John keeps his nose clean. Roman does too. Roman had the steroid thing. There's something. Forgot about that. We're not going to speak ill of him. But you notice that people don't really talk about that anymore. It's kind of been, I don't want to say covered up, but kind of pushed under the door and left there. I think WWE thinks about these things. Craig says Ric Flair looked like The Walking Dead on SmackDown with that. I love Flair. I will always love Flair. I can't say anything bad about him. Hey, to his credit, he's not working anymore, right? Let's see. Ironically enough, Kenny now has a chance to get pushed hard in WWE if he comes in now that Roman's out. Kenny could be the guy. I'm not wishing harm on anyone, just saying Kenny has a much better chance of being pushed. Kenny has a very interesting personality, and I don't know that it fits with everyone's taste. He's theatrical, but not in the Shinsuke Nakamura way, where you can't take your eyes off him. He's theatrical to the point of being goofball. Jim Cornette's compared him to Ultimate Warrior, and I don't know if I'd say all that, but I can see hints of that. I can see where he's coming from. I'm not saying he's right. I'm just saying Kenny Omega as a top guy in WWE, hey, listen, it might happen. Might happen, man. I don't know. If it does, it does, right? Can I see it? I don't know. I don't know. I think he'd have to work on some things. That's just me talking. Maybe I'm dead wrong. Let's see. John put more hours in with Make-A-Wish and is a great guy, at least to his fans. Met him 2 times. Sweet, man. A lot of other guys do the Make-A-Wish stuff for WWE. It's just they don't get advertised as much. I don't say that to bag on John. I say that to support the guys and gals who are doing the work for Make-A-Wish also. Good for them too. Let's see. AJ versus Bryan, weak or strong build. I don't think the story of AJ versus Bryan is in the build, Joey. I think the story of AJ versus Bryan is a match. Which I'm looking forward to. Jen, why you not have Edge run Raw as an ex-GM? Tired of the Corbin angle. Everybody's tired of the Corbin angle. I am too. I don't know that Edge wants to come back. I don't know. I can't speak for him. He lives in Asheville, by the way. Did you guys know that? He's like an hour and a half from me. It's pretty cool. Asheville's a beautiful country. Beautiful country up there. I don't know. If he wants to come back, I think I would. Wouldn't he make more sense as the GM of SmackDown, though? That's just me. I don't know. Is it true that Shinsuke wants out of WWE to go back to Japan? I haven't heard that. Joshua. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I haven't heard that. Oh, my. Well, I think I'm about done coughing all over you good people. Usually I judge when we're going to take this thing home. We went from like 125 viewers down to 69. Yikes. It's okay. Everyone's got stuff to do, man. Listen. Again, my apologies for the head cold. Hopefully this time next Friday, I'll be all good. Healthy again, as it were. So I have a challenge for you. Everybody come close and listen. By the way, if you're listening to this recorded, depends on what time you listen to it. This may or may not apply to you. Just saying. So, here we go. My son and I will be at Monday Night Raw this coming Monday, October 29th. And we've got seats where the hard camera, we are on the side that the hard camera faces. So when the guys are in the ring facing the hard camera, look behind them. We might be back there going like this. We might be those annoying fans that are going, put me on TV. Where they're not looking they're looking up here at the screen. Am I on TV? I would say I'd pick up my 10-year-old and hold him and shake the crap out of him. Look, get on TV. I can't pick up my 10-year-old. Number one, I'm older. Number two, my 10-year-old is not a lightweight. I'm just saying. So, yeah. So, look for us. And if we can, no promises, because the signal in Coliseum is notoriously weak. But if we can, before the show starts, we might go live and just film me and him, record me and him and the crowd as they filter in and give you a shot of the ring and let you know where we're sitting. And I might be posting that night on Wrestling Rumors Facebook, like posting pics and updating you of the show and stuff. Might do that, just to let you know what's happening. No promises, because as I said, the signal in that place is notoriously bad. So, look at it. Watch it. So, bring a sign that says Tom Clark's main event. Oh my God, I should do that. Better yet, I'll paint it on my chest and take my shirt off like those guys at the football games. Woo! Woo! That'll be me. I'll be the guy. And by the way, I've never drank a day in my life. I'm straight edge. This is a true story. I'm the age I am. None of your business. I've never had a taste of alcohol. Never tried a cigarette. Never done drugs. Never done anything. But I was going to compare myself to the drunk fans football game going, woo! And he's spilling the beer on the dudes beside him. He doesn't care because he's drunk. And on his stomach, he's got Go Jets or something. Right? That'll be me. So, Heel Dean Live. That's me. All right. Woohoo. Okay. Dave says he doesn't want to see my chest. Dave's not a fan. Where's the ladies at? No one wants to see my chest. It's not pretty, folks. It's a forest. Let me just tell you that. Yeah. So, not pretty. Not for the faint of heart, as it were. But on the positive side, I have lost 32 pounds. I'm still working on it. The goal is to lose 20 more. If I lose 20 more, I'll call it a day and then start eating a bunch of ice cream and pizza again. That's a joke. I'm not going to do that. That's how you gain weight, folks. Did you not take biology in school? My God. Okay. Well, I think that's all we got, man. So, check us out on boinkstudios.com. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at Tom Clark Writes, WRITES. I'll follow you back. If we're not friends on the Facebook, send me a message on Wrestling Rumors Instant Messenger and say, Tom, it's me. What's up? You don't have to take your shirt off. It's fine. And I will hit the button and I will send your friend request and you accept and we'll be bros. Sound good? Sounds great. That's all I got for you, man. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate everyone being patient with me and excusing all the plumbing that's going on from the neck up because it's been atrocious. My apologies for that. And like I said, next Friday we should be all good. I'm looking forward to Raw. You guys watch Raw. It's the week after Dean went heel. Oh my God, I'm jacked up to see this show live. No kidding. So, that's it for me, man. SJ says, what's up? we're going to take it home. That's what's up. Thanks, everybody, for watching, for hitting those buttons. You guys are the best. Come back next week for the next episode. And as always, thank you for tuning in. We will see you next time on Tom Clark's Main Event.